Imagine waking up on a Friday morning without rushing to class, checking your work email, or stressing over another long day. Instead, you have an extra day to catch up on sleep, spend time with your family, finish personal projects, or simply recharge. Now, imagine if that wasn't a holiday or a vacation, but your normal schedule every week. For most of us, the 5 day work and school week has been the standard our entire lives. We rarely stop to question whether it's actually the best system. Yet, many students and employees constantly report feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and burnt out. We're expected to do more than ever while somehow managing our physical and mental health. As college students, many of us balance classes, homework, jobs, internships, extracurricular activities, and family responsibilities. Even after graduation, those responsibilities don't disappear, they simply shift into full time careers. That's why this topic matters to every one of us, now and the future. To better understand whether there's a better alternative, I researched information from the World Health Organization, Gallup, 4 Day Week Global, and the Society for Human Resource Management, organizations that specialize in workplace wellness, employee engagement, and organizational performance. Today, I'd like to persuade you that transitioning to a mandatory 4 day week and school week will drastically reduce burnout, lower operational costs, and boost overall productivity and mental well being. First, I'll explain why our current 5 day schedule is creating serious problems. Next, I'll discuss the benefits of moving to a 4 day week. Finally, I'll address the biggest concerns people have about making this change and explain why they're not as problematic as they seem. Let's begin by talking about burnout. Burnout isn't simply feeling tired after a long week. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Many people think burnout only affects adults with demanding careers, but students experience this just as often. Think about your own schedule for a moment. How many of you wake up early for class, spend hours studying, go to work afterwards, come home to finish homework, and then repeat the process 5 days in a row? By the time the weekend arrives, you're not enjoying your free time. You spend most of it recovering from the week and preparing for the next one. According to the World Health Organization, burnout is officially recognized as an occupational phenomenon that results from chronic workplace stress that hasn't been successfully managed. Although WHO focuses primarily on workplaces, the same concept applies to schools because students face similar long-term pressures and expectations. This tells us something important. Burnout isn't simply about working hard, it's about constantly working through enough opportunities to recover. Recovery is essential because our brains aren't designed to operate under constant stress. Unfortunately, today's schedules often leave room for meaningful rest. A recent Gallup State of the World Workplace report found that a significant percentage of employees experience stress during much of their workday. Gallup also found that employee engagement is strongly connected to mental health and overall well being. When people feel exhausted, they become less productive, less motivated, and more likely to miss work altogether. Although Gallup studied employees, these same patterns appear among college students. Studies consistently show that students experience increasing levels of anxiety, depression, and academic burnout. Many students sacrifice sleep just to keep up. Instead of getting the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep, they stay awake studying, finishing assignments, or working late night shifts. The result? Poor concentration, lower grades, more stress, and eventually complete exhaustion. The same cycle continues after graduation. Employees often work 40 or more hours each week while balancing families, errands, appointments, and household responsibilities. Instead of living their lives, many people spend their weekends catching up on everything they couldn't accomplish during the week. The current system encourages surviving rather than thriving. It leaves very little time for hobbies, exercise, volunteering, spending time with loved ones, or simply relaxing. That isn't just bad for individuals, it's bad for organizations as well. When people become burned out, productivity decreases, absenteeism rises, and morale suffers. That's why simply telling people to manage their stress better isn't enough. Sometimes the structure itself needs to change. A 4 day work and school week offers one possible solution. Now that we've looked at the problems created by the traditional 5 day schedule, let's examine why so many experts believe a 4 day week can both improve individual well being and organizational success. The most obvious advantage of a 4 day week is simple. People finally have time to rest, time to recover, time to actually enjoy life. Having an extra day off gives people the opportunity to sleep longer, spend quality time with family and friends, attend appointments they've been missing because of work or class, volunteering in their communities, or pursuing hobbies they've been putting off for years. These activities may seem small, but together they significantly improve overall mental health. According to 4 Day Week Global, organizations that participated in large-scale 4 day work week trials and reported dramatic improvements in employee well-being. Workers experience lower stress levels, reduced burnouts, and better work-life balance after switching to a shorter work week. Perhaps even more surprising, productivity didn't decrease. In many cases, it actually increased. Why? Because well rested people work more efficiently. Think about your own experiences before an exam. Would you rather study for 12 straight hours while being exhausted or study for 8 focused hours and getting a good night's sleep? Most of us know the answer. Working longer doesn't automatically mean completing more. Sometimes working smarter produces better results. The principle applies to businesses as well. According to Society for Human Resource Management, flexible scheduling often improves employee engagement, job satisfaction, and retention. Employees who feel trusted and supported are more motivated to perform at their best. Higher engagement creates a positive cycle. Employees become happier, productivity increases, organizations retain talented workers, recruitment costs decrease, everyone benefits. Schools can experience similar advantages. Teachers have additional planning time. Students have more opportunities to study, participate in extracurricular activities, or simply recharge mentally before returning to class. Schools themselves can even save money. Closing buildings one additional day each week reduces electricity, heating, cooling, transportation, and maintenance expenses. These savings can potentially be redirected towards classroom resources, technology, or student support services. Beyond financial savings, a 4-day week sends an important message. It tells people that their well-being matters. Rather than measuring success by the number of hours spent sitting in a classroom or office, it focuses on outcomes, efficiency, and quality of work. That shift in mindset could fundamentally improve how we approach education and employment. By now, a 4-day work week probably sounds like a great idea, but like any major change, it has critics. The most common concern is that reducing the number of work or school days would simply mean longer days, making people even more exhausted. At first, that sounds reasonable. If we move from 5 8-hour days to 4 10-hour days, won't people be more tired? The answer isn't a simple yes or no. According to 4-Day Week Global, organizations that participated in large-scale 4-day workweek trials found that employees adapted to new schedules surprisingly quickly. Despite working slightly longer hours on some days, employees consistently reported feeling happier, healthier, and more productive. Many businesses also reported that productivity stayed the same or even improved. Why? Because people naturally become more intentional with their time. Meetings become shorter, employees are less likely to procrastinate, they focus on completing meaningful work instead of simply filling 8 hours because they're expected to. Think about the night before an assignment is due. Somehow, many of us manage to finish hours of work in a short amount of time because we know there's a deadline. When we have less time available, we become much more efficient with how we use it. Another concern is that businesses could lose money or provide worse customer service if they're open fewer days a week. However, many companies solve this problem by staggering employee schedules instead of closing entirely. Some employees work Monday through Thursday, while others work Tuesday through Friday. Customers receive service 5 days or even 7 days a week, while employees still enjoy a 3-day weekend. Schools could adopt similar approaches for staff planning days, administrative work, or optional student support devices. Another concern that people have is that the 5-day week already seems radical. The 4-day week isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Essential services would still continue using rotating schedules to ensure continuous coverage. The goal isn't to eliminate necessary services, it's to redesign schedules when it's practical and benefit. The 5-day work week itself was once considered a radical idea because after society adopted it successfully, employers recognized the importance of having well-rested employees. Progress has always required challenging traditions. The question shouldn't be why change. It should be, can we build a healthier and more productive future? To sum it all up, implementing a 4-day work week and school week could significantly improve both our personal lives and performance. Today, we discussed how traditional 5-day schedules contributes to burnout, how research from organizations like WHO and the Society for Human Resource Management supports the benefits of a 4-day week, and why the common concerns can be overcome. I encourage each of you to support pilot programs and 4-day schedules for your schools, workplaces, and communities, and to stay informed about policies that promote healthier work-life balance. Sometimes working less doesn't mean accomplishing less. It means accomplishing more with the time that we have. The future of work and education doesn't have to be longer. It can simply be smarter. Thank you.